This is Whisper Reads. Today I'm coming to you from the garden. I'm sitting with Father John in the sun, listening to the birds. I'm going to be reading you my first suggestion. It's called A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. And if you have any suggestions or encouragements or preferences or anything, I would love to hear it. Please enjoy. Hey. One note is that I might skip a couple of the poems from this book. It's from the 1800s, and some of them are just like not great for modern listeners. So, if you want to check a full, unedited text, it's in Project Gutenberg. And I will probably drop the whole thing in the captions as well. I hope you enjoy. I hope you relax. A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. Bed in summer. In winter I get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way. I have to go to bed by day. I have to go to bed and see the birds still hopping on the tree, or hear the grown-up people's feet still going past me in the street. And does it not seem hard to you, when all the sky is clear and blue, and I should like so much to play, to have to go to bed by day? Young night thought. All night long, and every night, when my mama puts out the light, I see the people marching by, as plain as day before my eye. Armies and emperors and kings, all carrying different kinds of things, and marching in so grand a way, you never saw the like by day. So fine a show was never seen at the great circus on the green, for every kind of beast and man is marching in that caravan. At first, they move a little slow, but still the faster on they go, and still beside them close I keep, until we reach the town of sleep. Farewell to the farm. The coach is at the door at last, the eager children mounting fast, and kissing hands in chorus sing, goodbye, goodbye to everything, to house and garden, field and lawn, the meadow gates we swung upon, to plump and stable, tree and swing, goodbye, goodbye to everything, and fare you well forevermore. O ladder at the hayloft door, O hayloft where the cobwebs cling, goodbye, goodbye to everything. Crack goes the whip, and off we go. The trees and houses smaller grow. Last, round the woody turn we swing. Goodbye, goodbye to everything. The land of counterpane. When I was sick and lay abed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay, to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes, for an hour or so, I watched my leaden soldiers go, with different uniforms and drills, among the bedclothes, through the hills, and sometimes sent my ships in fleets, all up and down among the sheets, or brought my trees and houses out, and painted cities all about. I was the giant great and still, that sits upon the billow hill, and sees before him, dale and plain, the pleasant land of counterpane. Come up here, O dusty feet. Here is fairy bread to eat. Here in my retiring room, children, you may dine on the golden smell of broom and the shade of pine. And when you have eaten well, fairy stories hear and tell. Escape at bedtime. The lights from the parlor and kitchen shone out through the blinds and the windows and bars, and high overhead, and all moving about. There were thousands and millions of stars. There never were such thousands of leaves on a tree, nor people in church or the park, as the crowds of the stars that looked down upon me, and that glittered and winked in the dark. The dog and the plow and the hunter and all, and the star of the sailor and Mars, these shone in the sky, and the pail by the wall would be half full of water and stars. They saw me at last, and they chased me with cries, and they soon had me packed into bed. But the glory kept shining and bright in my eyes, and the stars going round in my head. A good play. Waybilsed a ship upon the stairs, all made of the back bedroom chairs, and filled it full of sofa pillows to go a-sailing on the billows. We took a saw and several nails, and water in the nursery pails, and Tom said, "Let us also take an apple and a slice of cake," which was enough for Tom and me to go a-sailing on till tea. We sailed along for days and days, and had the very best of plays, but Tom fell out and hurt his knee, so there was no one left but me. Marching song. Bring the comb and play upon it. Marching here we come. Willie cocks his Highland bonnet. Johnny beats the drum. Mary Jane commands the party. Peter leads the rear. Feet in time, alert and hardy, each a grenadier. All in the most martial manner, marching double quick, while the napkins like a banner waves upon the stick. Here's enough of fame and pillage, great Commander Jane. Now that we've been round the village, let's go home again. Where go the boats? Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever, with trees on either hand. Green leaves a floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a boating. Where will all come home? On goes the river, and out past the mill, away down the valley, away down the hill, away down the river, 100 miles or more. Other little children shall bring my boats ashore. The hayloft. Through all the pleasant meadow side, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining scythes went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. These green and sweetly smelling crops, they led in wagons home, and then they piled them here in mountain tops, for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell, no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! With the sweet, the din, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. never seen before. I saw the dimpling river pass and be the sky's blue looking glass. The dusty roads go up and down, with people tramping into town. If I could find a higher tree, farther and farther I should see, to where the grown-up river slips into the sea among the ships, to where the roads on either hand lead onward into fairyland, where all the children dine at 5 and all the playthings come alive. System. Every night my prayers I say, and get my dinner every day. And every day that I've been good, I get an orange after food. The child that is not clean and neat, with lots of toys and things to eat. He is a naughty child, I'm sure, or else his dear papa is poor. At the seaside, when I was down beside the sea, a wooden spade they gave to me to dig the sandy shore. My holes were hollow like a cup. In every hole the sea came up, till it could hold no more. The land of Nod. From breakfast on throughout all the day, at home among my friends I stay, but every night I go abroad, afar into the land of Nod. All by myself I have to go, with none to tell me what to do. All alone beside the streams, and up the mountainsides of dreams. The strangest things are there for me, both things to eat and things to see, and many frightening sights abroad, till morning in the land of Nod. Try as I like to find the way, I never can get back by day, nor can I remember plain and clear the curious music that I hear. Windy nights. Whenever the moon and stars are set, whenever the wind is high, all night long in the dark and wet, a man goes riding by. Late in the night, when the fires are out, why does he gallop and gallop about? Whenever the trees are crying aloud, and ships are tossed at sea, by on the highway, low and loud, by at the gallop goes he, by at the gallop he goes, and then he comes back at the gallop again. Time to rise. A birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon the windowsill, cocked his shining eye and said, "Ain't you shamed, you sleepyhead?" Rain. The rain is raining all around. It falls on field and tree. It rains on the umbrellas here and on the ships at sea. Looking forward. When I am grown to man's estate, I shall be very proud and great, and tell the other girls and boys not to meddle with my toys. My shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me, from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller, like an India rubber ball, and he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he's a coward, you can see. I think shame to stick to nursery as that shadow sticks to me. One morning very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. The sun's travels. The sun is not abed when I, at night, upon my pillow lie. Still round the earth his way he takes, and morning after morning makes. While here at home in shining day, we round the sunny garden play. Each little Indian sleepy head is being kissed and put to bed. And when at eve I rise from tea, day dawns beyond the Atlantic Sea, and all the children in the West are getting up and being dressed. Looking Glass River. Smooth it slides upon its travel, here a whimper, wimple there a gleam. Oh, the clean gravel, oh, the smooth stream. Sailing blossoms, silver fishes, paving pools as clear as air. How a child wishes to live down there. We can see our colored faces floating on the shaken pool, down in cool places, dim and very cool, till a wind or water wrinkle, dipping martin, plumping trout, spreads in a twinkle, and blots all about. See the rings pursue each other, all below grows black as night, just as if mother had blown out the light. Patience, children, just a minute. See the spreading circles die, the stream and all in it will clear by and by. The lamplighter. My tea is nearly ready, and the sun has left the sky. It's time to take the window to see Leary going by. For every night at tea time, and before you take your seat, with lantern and with ladder, he comes posting up the street. Now Tom would be a driver, and Maria go to sea, and my papa's a baker, as rich as he can be. But I, when I am stronger, and can choose what I'm to do, oh, Leary, I'll go round at night and light the lamps with you. For we are very lucky with a lamp before the door, and Leary stops to light it as he lights so many more. And oh, before you hurry by, with ladder and with light, oh, Leary, see a little child, and nod to him tonight. My bed is a boat. My bed is like a little boat. Nurse helps me in when I embark. She girds me in my sailor's coat and starts me in the dark. At night, I go on board and say good night to all my friends on shore. I shut my eyes and sail away and see and hear no more. And sometimes things to bed I take, as prudent sailors have to do. Perhaps a slice of wedding cake, perhaps a toy or two. All night across the dark we steer, but when the day returns at last, safe in my room beside the pier, I find my vessel fast. Keepsake Mill. Over the borders, a sin without pardon, breaking the branches and crawling below, out through the breach in the wall of the garden, down by the banks of the river we go. Here is the mill with the humming of thunder, here's the weir with the wonder of foam. Here is the slice with the race running under, marvelous places, though handy to home. Sounds of the village grow stiller and stiller, stiller the note of the birds on the hill. Dusty and dim are the eyes of the miller, deaf are his ears with the moil of the mill. Years may go by, and the wheel in the river wheel as it wheels for us, children today. Wheel and keep roaring and foaming forever, long after all of the boys are away. Home from the Indies and home from the ocean, heroes and shoulders, we all shall come home. Still we shall find the old mill wheel in motion, turning and churning that river to foam. You with the bean that I gave you when we quarreled, I with your marble of Saturday last, honored and old and all gaily apparelled. Here we shall meet and remember the past. The moon. The moon has a face like the clock in the hall. She shines on thieves, on the garden wall, on streets and fields, and harbor quays, and birdies asleep in the forks of the trees. The squalling cat and the squeaking mouse, the howling dog by the door of the house, the bat that lies in bed at noon, all love to be out by the light of the moon. But all of the things that belong to the day cuddle to sleep to be out of her way, and flowers and children close their eyes till up in the morning the sun shall rise. The unseen playmate. When children are playing alone on the green, in comes the playmate that never was seen. When children are happy and lonely and good, the friend of the children comes out of the wood. Nobody heard him and nobody saw. He is a picture you never could draw, but he's sure to be present, abroad or at home, when children are happy and playing alone. He lies in the laurels, he runs on the grass, he sings when you tinkle the musical glass. Whenever you are happy and cannot tell why, the friend of the children is sure to be by. He loves to be little, he hates to be big. 'Tis he that inhabits the caves that you dig. 'Tis he when you play with your soldiers of tin, that sides with the Frenchman and never can win. 'Tis he when at night you go off to your bed, bids you go to your sleep, and not trouble your head, for wherever they're lying, in cupboards or shelf, 'tis he will take care of your playthings himself. My ship and I. Oh, it's I that am the captain of a tidy little ship, of a ship that goes a-sailing on the pond. And my ship, it keeps a-turning all around and all about. But when I'm a little older, I shall find the secret out, how to send my vessel sailing on beyond. For I mean to grow as little has the dolly at the helm, and the dolly I intend to come alive. And with him beside to help me, it's a sailing I shall go. It's a sailing on the water, when the jolly breezes blow, and the vessel goes a divey dive dive. Oh, it's then you'll see me, sailing through the rushes and the reeds, and you'll hear the water singing at the prow, for beside the dolly sailor, I'm to voyage and explore, to land upon the island where no dolly was before, and to fire the penny cannon in the bow. The wind. I saw you toss the kites on high, and blow the birds about the sky, and all around I heard you pass, like ladies' skirts across the grass. A wind a-blowing all day long, a wind that sings so loud a song. I saw the different things you did, but always you yourself you hid. I felt you push, I heard you call, I could not see yourself at all. O wind, a-blowing all day long, O wind that sings so loud a song. O you that are so strong and cold, O blower, are you young or old? Are you a beast of field and tree, or just a stronger child than me? O wind, a-blowing all day long, O wind that sings so loud a song. A good boy. I woke before the morning. I was happy all the day. I never said an ugly word, but smiled and stuck to play. And now at last the sun is going down behind the wood, and I am very happy, for I know that I've been good. My bed is waiting, cool and fresh, with linen smooth and fair, and I must off to sleep sitting by, and not forget my prayer. I know that till tomorrow I shall see the sun arise. No ugly dream shall fright my mind, no ugly sight my eyes. But slumber hold me tightly, till I waken in the dawn, and hear the thrushes singing in the lilacs round the lawn. Good and bad children. Children, you are very little, and your bones are very brittle. If you would grow great and stately, you must try to walk sedately. You must still be bright and quiet, and content with simple diet, and remain, through all bewildering, innocent and honest children. Happy hearts and happy faces, happy play in grassy places. That was how, in ancient ages, children grew to kings and sages. But the unkind and the unruly, and the sort who eat unduly, they must never hope for glory. Theirs is quite a different story. Cruel children, crying babies, all grow up as geese and gabies, hated as their age increases by their nephews and their nieces. Picture books in winter. Summer fading, winter comes. Frosty mornings, tingling thumbs, window robins, winter rooks, and the picture storybooks. Water now is turned to stone. Nurse and I can walk upon. Still we find the flowing brooks in the picture storybooks. All the pretty things put by wait upon the children's eye. Sheep and shepherds, trees and crooks, in the picture storybooks. you see how all things are, seas and cities, near and far, and the flying fairies' looks in the picture storybooks. How am I to sing your praise? Happy chimney corner days, sitting safe in nursery nooks, reading picture storybooks. The swing. How do you like to go up in a swing? Up in the air so blue. Oh, I do think it is the pleasantest thing ever a child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide, rivers and trees and cattle and all, over the countryside, till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown, up in the air and go flying again, up in the air and down. A thought. It is very nice to think the world is full of meat and drink, with little children saying grace in every Christian kind of place. Armies in the fire. The lamps now glitter down the street, faintly sound the falling feet, and the blue even slowly falls about the garden, trees and walls. Now in the falling of the gloom, the red fire paints the empty room, and warmly on the roof it looks, and flickers on the backs of books. Armies march by tower and spire, of cities blazing in the fire, till as I gaze with staring eyes, the armies fade, the luster dies. Then once again the glow returns, again the phantom city burns, and down the red-hot valley low, the phantom armies marching go. Blinking embers tell me true, where are those armies marching to, and what the burning city is that crumbles in your furnaces. My kingdom. Down by a shining water well, I found a very little dell, no higher than my head. The heather and the gorse about, in summer bloom, were coming out, some yellow and some red. I called the little pool a sea. The little halls were big to me, for I am very small. I made a boat, I made a town. I searched the caverns up and down, and named them one and all. And all about was mine, I said, the little sparrows overhead, the little minnows too. This was the world, and I was king. For me the bees came by to sing, for me the swallows flew. I played there were no deeper seas, nor any wider plains than these, nor other kings than me. At last I heard my mother call, out from the house at evenfall, to call me home to tea. And I must rise and leave my dell, and leave my dimpled water well, and leave my heather blooms. Alas, and as my home I neared, how very big my nurse appeared, how great and cool the rooms. Wintertime. Late lies the wintry sun abed, a frosty, fiery, sleepy head, blinks but an hour or two, and then a blood-red orange sets again. Before the stars have left the skies, at morning in the dark I rise, and shivering in my nakedness, by the cold candle, bathe and dress. Close by the jolly fire I sit, to warm my frozen bones a bit, or with a reindeer sled explore the colder countries round the door. When to go out, my nurse doth rap, my comforter and cap. The cloud wind burns my face and blows its frosty pepper up my nose. Black are my steps on silver sod, thick blows my frosty breath abroad, and tree and house and hill and lake are frosted like a wedding cake. The little land. When at home alone I sit, and am very tired of it, I have just to shut my eyes, to go sailing through the skies, to go sailing far away, to the pleasant land of play, to the fairyland far, where the little people are, where the clever tops are trees, and the rain pools are the seas, and the leaves, like little ships, sail about on tiny trips. And above the daisy tree, through the grasses, high overhead, the bumblebee hums and passes. In that forest, to and fro, I can wander, I can go, see the spider and the fly, and the ants go marching by, carrying parcels with their feet, down the green and grassy street. I can in the sorrel sit, where the ladybird alit. I can climb the jointed grass, and on high see the greater swallows pass in the sky, and the round sun rolling by, heeding no such things as I. Through that forest I can pass, till, as in a looking glass, humming fly and daisy tree, and my tiny self I see, painted very clear and neat, on the rain pool at my feet. Should a leaflet come to land, drifting near to where I stand, straight I'll board that tiny boat, round the rain pool sea to float. Little thoughtful creatures sit on the grassy coasts of it. Little things with lovely eyes see me sailing with surprise. Some are clad in armor green, these have sure to battle been. Some are pied with every hue, black and crimson, gold and blue. Some have wings and swift are gone, but they all look kindly on. When my eyes I once again open, and see all things in plain, high bare walls, great bare floor, great big knobs on drawer and door, great big people perched on chairs, stitching tucks and mending tears, each a hill that I could climb, and talking nonsense all the time. Oh dear me, that I could be a sailor on the rainbow sea, a climber in the clover tree, and just come back, a sleepy head, late at night to go to bed. In port, last to the chamber where I lie, my fearful footsteps patter nigh, and come from out the cold and gloom, into my warm and cheerful room. There, safe arrived, we turn about, to keep the coming shadows out, and close the happy door at last, on all the perils that we passed. Then, when Mama goes by to bed, she shall come in with tiptoe head tread, and see me lying warm and fast, in the land of Nod at last. Night and day. When the golden day is done, through the closing portal, child and garden, flower and sun, vanish all things mortal. As the blinding showers fall, as the rays diminish, under evening's cloak they all roll away and vanish. Garden darkened, daisy shut, child in bed they slumber, glowworm in the high the lumber. In the darkness, houses shine. Parents move with candles, till on all the night divine turns the bedroom handles, till at last the day begins, in the east a breaking, in the hedges and the winds, sleeping birds awaking. In the darkness, shapes of things, houses, trees, and hedges, clearer grow and sparrows' wings beat on window ledges. These shall wake the yawning maid, she the door shall open, finding dew on garden glade, and the morning broken. There my garden grows again, green and rosy painted. At eve behind the pane, from my eye it fainted, just as it was shut away, joy-like in the even. Here I see it glow with day, under glowing heaven. Every path and every plot, every bush of roses, every blue forget-me-not, where the dew reposes. Up, they cry, the day is come. On the smiling valleys, we have beat the morning drum. Playmate, join your allies. Nest eggs. Birds all the sunny day flutter and quarrel here in the arbor-like tent of the laurel. Here in the fork, the brown nest is seated. 4 little blue eggs the mother keeps heated. While we stand watching her, staring like gabies, safe in each egg are the bird's little babies. Soon the frail eggs they shall chip and upspringing make all the April woods merry with singing. Younger than we are, O children, and frailer, soon in the blue air they'll be singer and sailor. We so much older, taller, and stronger, we shall look down on the birdies no longer. They shall go flying with musical speeches high overhead in the tops of the beeches. In spite of our wisdom and sensible talking, we on our feet must go plodding and walking. The flowers. All the names I know from nurse. Gardener's garters, shepherd's purse, bachelor's buttons, lady's smock, and the lady hollyhock. Fairy places, fairy things, fairy woods where the wild bee wings, tiny trees for tiny dames. These must all be fairy names. Tiny woods below whose boughs shady fairies weave a house. Tiny treetops rose are time, where the braver fairies climb. Fair are grown-up people's trees, but the fairest woods are these, where if I were not so tall, I should live for good and all. From a railway carriage. Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. All of the sights of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for singing the daisies. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse, and gone forever. My treasures. These nuts that I keep in the back of the nest, where all my soldiers are lying at rest, were gathered in autumn by Nursey and me, of a branch of a pane with a knife of my own. It was Nursey who made it, and Nursey alone. The stone with the white and the yellow and gray, we discovered I cannot tell how far away, and I carried it back although weary and cold. For though father denies it, I'm sure it is gold. But of all of my treasures, the last is the king, for there's very few children possess such a thing, and that is a chisel, both handle and blade, which a man who is really a carpenter made. The gardener. The gardener does not love to talk. He makes me keep the gravel walk, and when he puts his tools away, he locks the door and takes the key. Away behind the currant row, where no one else but cook may go. Far in the plots I see him dig, old and serious, brown and big. He digs the flowers, green, red, and blue, nor wishes to be spoken to. He digs the flowers and cuts the hay, and never seems to want to play. Silly gardener, summer goes, and winter comes with pinching toes. When in the garden bare and brown, you must lay your barrow down. Well now, and while the summer stays, to profit by these garden days, oh, how much wiser you would be to play at Indian wars with me. This is Whisper